Hey, what is up, everybody? We have been waiting months for this moment, and it's finally here. That's right, FSD Beta 12 is now running on my car. So I got a call last night from someone on the autopilot team. They said, look, we've got FSD Beta 12. It's a little bit rough still. It's not ready to go out to everybody. The nags are turned up to 11 because of that, and we plan to scale that back later as we get it into a wider release. But, be super careful with it. Be extra aware. This is a, very early build. But I told them, look, I've been testing this thing since 2020. I've seen probably much worse performance than this. And, in my first few drives, they were all zero intervention. So I was like, man, this guy really made it sound pretty bad, but it was actually pretty good. Later in the night, I did start encountering more bugs. It kind of threw up the red hands and made me exit. But generally, you're really seeing a major improvement in many different categories. So I wanted to make a video at 1x speed where we really look at how it's performing. I can give my commentary. I actually haven't tried it on a sunny day yet. Everything was raining since I got it, so that'll be interesting to see how it performs in the dry weather. Let's see. Okay, we got the auto wipers on. And I just noticed there's this new setting in the autopilot settings here, which is, where is it? Automatic set speed offset. So you notice I actually had FSD drive me to this destination and it pulled over really nicely. And cars can get through easily. I'm not blocking the path, so that's really great. And so they've got this automatic set speed. So I haven't tried this yet, so I'm going to get to try it for the first time on this video with you guys. So automatic set speed allows autopilot to drive at the speed that it determines is the most natural. This considers factors like road type, traffic flow, environmental conditions, speed limit, and the profile, chill, average, or assertive. The driver is always responsible for the speed of the vehicle and is expected to intervene as needed. So that's interesting. I wonder if I can still change the speed or if that's not even an option anymore. So we're just going to go drive around and see how it does. So over on the max speed where it would normally say the speed limit, it just says max auto. That's really interesting. So let's just throw in a bunch of random destinations and see how this thing does. Take me to the Walt Disney Family Museum. All right, so that's just a couple miles away, short little trip. So I've turned it on and it's not moving because it actually sees this car coming up behind me. That was very interesting. But now it's still not moving. Oh, wow. Did it maybe see that person before I did or something? Oh my God. Wow. And then it just takes off. It really, when it knows it has to go, it takes off just like a human now. The other thing was so robotic and slow compared to how this takes off. All right, so we're waiting for our turn. Looks like this guy was going to give us our turn, but then went. So we're making a left. Very nice, very natural. The big theme, if there's one takeaway from this, it's comfort. If you're the kind of person who gets scared, this one person left a comment on my X profile last week or something, and they said, every time I use FSD, I feel like I want to die, or I'm going to die, because it just will make a turn very fast or make it in kind of an unnatural way, not showing some of the caution humans would show. This version fixes a lot of that in a lot of different categories. When it's cresting a hill, it kind of peaks over a lot more gently. It makes those turns with the sort of comfort you would expect from a human. It's really going to be a much less scary experience. Okay, so we're turning left here. That is something that would probably normally trip it up when there was a car making a left turn in the other direction. For some reason in the past, it would just stop in the intersection sometimes and wait for them to make a left turn, which could cause a problem because then you get stuck in the intersection. So good to see that it's handling that more naturally. I mean, there's just so many improvements in so many different areas from using this end-to-end approach that it's really the biggest update ever. Arguably bigger than even the first one. And, you get back and the usual idiots who are just upset about everything are saying, oh, you say it's always good. Well, yeah, when they gave me the first version 3 years ago, it was really shitty compared to this. You guys have no idea. It couldn't even drive straight. Literally. I had to take over within the first 5 seconds of turning it on because it just dove for a row of parked cars. And yet it was amazing because I saw my car make a right turn on its own for the first time. I saw my car make a left turn on its own for the first time. Nobody had ever seen that before. I was one of the first 2,000 people in the world, really, to have a privately owned car that could perform this type of driving, where it could do an entire drive on its own with computer vision. So that was incredible. But it's a total piece of shit compared to what we have today. A total piece of shit. It's really no contest. So yes, there have been incredible improvements since then. There have been things like the occupancy network, things like the single stack, where now it handles the highway. It used to switch back to basic autopilot for the highways. And, you'll have these people say, oh no, it didn't get better. They're just not paying attention. It's gotten so much better, especially with V12. I mean, it's not even funny. People are so short-sighted and so negative. Like, how can you not say this is incredible? And by the way, doing this turn, it always used to stop doing this turn because it read the wrong traffic light. Now it's getting it every time with V12. So, huge noticeable improvement in terms of knowing which traffic light applies to you, which has been an issue on previous FSD beta builds. Not that common, but it does happen, and the results can be catastrophic, right? Trying to go when it's not your turn, that type of thing. All right, we're now exiting over here. I love the automatic speed. It wasn't really the full FSD12 experience without the automatic speed. I was thinking, oh, okay, it's different, but it's not that different from V11. Now it's way more natural with it just setting the speed. Oh my God. Okay, this is a left turn. It would always sort of mess up. It would always get dangerously close to this this left turn lane there, which would be a problem when there's cars. Okay, so we're going for a roundabout now. So let's see how it handles that roundabout. So this is a roundabout without a stop sign. It's just a yield. So presumably you can move right through if it's clear. So let's see how it handles it. It's just so much more natural. Reminds me of Waymo, but better. Like smoother, more natural even than Waymo. Okay, it's waiting a little too long here, but now it's taking off. Very good. What was it waiting for exactly? I mean, there was nobody who could cross in front of us, so. A couple bugs I have noticed. It has one issue that V11 didn't have where, oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Dan O'Dowd's worst nightmare. Or Dan O'Dowd's fantasy. Well, his fantasy is that I run all these kids over. But it looks like it's actually stopping for them. Uh-oh. What are you gonna do, Dan? It's detecting kids. I mean, AI in cars, an AI that can just use computer vision, just use cameras, and see, understand things, know how to respond properly. that if a human doesn't see those kids and accelerates for some reason, is going to drive forward, the AI can stop them. Because the AI knows you shouldn't do that. I mean, it's a game changer. It's going to save the life of someone you love. And you won't know. You won't get a letter. Hey, your friend was supposed to die today. But they didn't because AI prevented the crash. They just won't die. And so these people will keep shitting on Elon and Tesla. Ah, Elon, I don't like your tweet today. When, I mean, I think really what we have here is a major turning point in human economic history. Computers that can move around the world. Robots. And look how it pulled over just so nicely. You gotta love it. This was a huge issue because with the old version of autopilot, it would just stop in the middle of the road. So I could have this great zero intervention drive, but at the end I'm frantically trying to get out of the road and having to take over manually. Now it can actually pull over and get back on the road without me having to disengage. It's really cool. It will disengage if, you know, you're kind of just sitting there for too long, I think 10 minutes or something. But, so let me drop a pin here. Let me say I want to go here. And let's go. All right. We're not going. Come on, car. All right, let's just sit and wait for a little while. Maybe it's because of this car that's coming, but it's like really far away. It looks like it's parking now. I don't know. All right, let me just give it a little accelerator press. Maybe that'll help. Okay. That was odd. But you can see that without disengaging, I pulled over, I entered a new destination, and now I'm off. So for people like Uber drivers who have to drop passengers off, this is going to be a big thing. They can possibly go from one trip to another without even disengaging. So in 3 years, FSD has never had the capability to pull over. Finally, it does. And they didn't even program it in. There's so many little subtle things that are subtle human behaviors that they clearly didn't program in, they didn't think about. It just emerged from the data. Okay, notice it slowed a little for the crosswalk there. Not harshly, not uncomfortably, but slowed a little, which was interesting. There were no people there. All right, really smooth driving here. It's going a little over the speed limit, which I like, but not to an unsafe degree. Yeah, like, I just can't believe how negative people can be. I mean, this technology is literally preventing people from getting hit every day by cars, from getting in crashes. Hundreds of thousands of people are using it. I think they're going to cross 1 billion miles in the second quarter. Maybe in the first, if they release this in the first quarter, who knows? And, you know, people are just so negative. Well, they said it would be driverless. Who cares? This technology will literally change your life. It'll change the way you get around, the way you interact with your city. I have this car and I can just sit in it and tell it where I want it to go, and it'll just take me there. I can say, take me to LA. Oh, here's an issue where for some reason the old FSD would always try and get in that lane to the side. I think it's like a bike lane. Like it would kind of get in the bike lane a little bit kind of uncomfortably close to this guardrail. And it just did that for years for some reason. I could never figure out why. FSD 12 doesn't do it. So I think what people are going to find is that a lot of their long-standing issues are resolved. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of the issues that, I just lived with for years, suddenly it's not an issue. There are a couple new regressions, probably more I haven't found yet. I haven't driven it that much. One is that if there's a traffic light up ahead and then there's a stop sign and then the next street is a traffic light, it'll sometimes wait at the stop sign until the traffic light on the other side turns green. And I've seen that happen twice. So, that's sort of a minor bug they need to fix. All right, so we're turning in. I like how slowly it turned in there. Compared to the old FSD, it would just come in guns blazing. Okay, it feels a little bit fast, but fine. Okay, it just picked up that the speed is 15, so it looks like it's slowing down a little bit now. But it didn't respond immediately to the speed limit change. It just kind of brought it down. Now it's 22. It seems like it's really responding more to the road even than what the speed limit is. So just doing what's appropriate, just like a human would. I mean, that is a major improvement. The robotic driving feel of V11 is why a lot of people just don't like it. All right, here we are. There's the Golden Gate Bridge. We got a cyclist here. We got another car coming. I like where it's choosing to drive on the road. In the past, it would kind of be overly centered sometimes. Okay, nicely giving a gap to the other car. All right, we got a car pulling out. We got pedestrians on this side, slowing down for the car that's pulling out, waiting for the path to clear, and continuing on. Yeah, here it would sometimes do these kind of robotic things, jerk around. It's very smooth, continuous, not a lot of hesitation. Okay, we've got a cyclist, it looks like, in the way, in the road. And it's just sort of gradually going around them, very gently. Very nice. Up. Up. The old version would kind of do this sometimes too. Actually, it would mostly do it correctly. Okay, so now it seems to have gotten kind of stuck. Let me see. Let me give it a little accelerator push and see what it does. Okay. That's a little odd. So, the old version would do that. That had kind of a regression there for some reason. I don't know if it was because of the cyclist or because of something else. It seemed like it couldn't decide whether to go right or left. Maybe because the pin is here on the left, but, the correct way to drive is obviously to go on the right. All right, now where should we go now? Take me to the Legion of Honor. This is a cool drive. All right, so let me turn it on. We got a guy going around us because we were stopped. And now we're pulling out onto the road. Actually, you know what? Let me give him a little more time so that we're not sort of right behind him. Let the car kind of maneuver more on its own. All right, so I'm turning it back on now. Looks like it's waiting for this car to cross, maybe. There, well, let's go. All right, it's showing its blinker before pulling into the road. That's good. All right, we got some construction here on the right. All right, we got some pedestrians. We got a guy walking on both sides. We got somebody running. The car naturally offsets into the middle. All right, we got a truck coming, and also a jogger over here. The car's slowing. The truck is slowing. All right. We're going very slowly. There's another car coming. Not very human-like here. Nope, stopping again. There's a clear path in the middle of these two people. Maybe because of the cyclist over there, I don't know. But we're going very slowly here. People would be really honking at us, and you know, the old FSD11 did this very well. Even with a lot of people. I think maybe because of the cyclist, maybe it thought she was gonna jump out because of the way she's facing. But you know, cautious is good, especially on an early build, so hopefully they can dial that in over time. We'll continue to do some tests on the street. Okay, we got a woman and her dog walking in this side of the road. We offset across. Now we got a man running. Slow down, offset across, very good. Overall, not bad, I give it a B. You can tell that when it gets smoothed out, it's going to be really natural. All right, on we go. We're going to make a right turn. It's a little bit tough with the visibility here because we're on a hill. So let's see what it does. It's creeping a little. Very not enough. It's stopping. Come on, go. Go, you stupid car. Okay. Very good. A little hesitant. I don't think it really needed to wait for the car that was coming in this direction, but it did. Then after this, maybe we'll go like downtown or something. All right, there's that takeoff from the stop when you can, which I like. It takes off when it's clear, but it's also much more cautious when it's appropriate to be cautious, like when it can't see or something like that. All right, here we've got some of our trademark San Francisco fog. Not too much, but a little bit. Let's see how it handles that. Here we got a four-way stop. I've noticed it's much more natural at four-way stops about going when it's supposed to go and not going when it's not supposed to go. It's just a much more natural four-way stop experience. You can see there, right after the first car went, it tried to go. It saw the other car was going, it stopped, and then it went. And no jerkiness, no, suddenly harshly braking because you realize the other car was going. Just very gentle start, very gentle stop. Very human-like. Actually, probably better than a human could have done it, honestly. Okay, very low visibility here. Normally we have a great view, but not today. All right, here we got a stop ahead sign, and then we've got a stop sign over here. In the past, I saw it slow down a little bit when it saw the stop ahead sign. This time it didn't, but that's actually good. It, stopped right where it needed to. Okay, we got a little bit of fogginess here. Will it read the stop sign? Looks like it's reading the stop sign. All right, we got a truck here. Looks like it's pausing, waiting for the truck to pull in. And then pausing again. Letting another truck in. That was unnecessary, but I guess cautious is better. Or, not necessarily better, but for the early build, I think they're really trying to be cautious. All right, here we go. We got some stuff in the road. We got a crosswalk. Got a winding road here. Handling it very naturally. Better than 11, really. Alright, we're slowing down, waiting for this truck to make a left. And then picking right up again. I like that pickup. Much more natural than waiting for the thing to get completely out of the way, then slowly accelerating from 0. Alright, here we got another stop sign. Looks like we got a bus turning in front of us. We're gonna wait for that. And then continue. Very good. Another stop sign. Full stop to 0, but then picks up right away and takes off. So much better stop sign experience overall. Major improvement on stop signs. Very good there. It kind of had to go left to stay straight because of the bike lane, and it was able to figure that out, which is good. Another full NHTSA stop. And off we go. A Tesla launch. A NHTSA stop and a Tesla launch. Well, it's not a full launch, obviously, but it feels a lot more like a Tesla launch than before. I mean, that's probably what the training data shows for Tesla drivers. That's probably typically how they take off. Okay, here we got a guy walking. Very natural, didn't slow unduly. And here we got a left turn. We've got a stop. There's no stop sign, but it does say stop on the street. And it did stop for that. Alright, very natural left turn there. I like that a lot. The turns are much, much better. Alright, we got another stop sign here. And, yeah. I was trying to figure out if there was another lane merging in, but no, that's just the other side of the street. Alright, we got a Taycan going over the line, and the Tesla moved over, gave them some extra room. I like to see that. Another stop. We got the stop sign partially occluded by a vehicle. Alright, very very gentle. A little overly slow. Maybe was waiting for that guy to see if he would cross. Okay, we've got a cyclist here. The car's offsetting, driving close to the yellow line. All right, we made it. Here we are, the Legion of Honor. The car is pulling over. Huh? Uh-oh. The car has parked itself in a handicap spot. I'm gonna get a ticket. Thanks a lot, Tesla. Elon, you better pay my parking ticket.